Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Oh, hey.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here on such short notice. This place isn't bugged, is it?
Bugged? Wait, Jamie, what's going on?
It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. Do you see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there?
Yeah?
That's all I paid for it.
I think I need to get back to you on that.
Do you know what you want?
Yeah, I do now.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you've always wanted, plus America's best warranty at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. The guilt is real, but so is the savings.
Listen, I don't want to get in your business, but if that's all she paid for it, I'll have what she's having.
It's a great day for a new Hyundai at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event going on now. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, and Santa Fe hybrid models. And check out our other great deals at your Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends September 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
NBDL sounds like trying to do like shorthand for no big deal.
No big deal. Yeah, it's like your parent messing up an acronym. Yeah.
Right.
Sup, nerds? It's basketball. Welcome to Horse, a basketball podcast about everything except for the wins and losses. My name is Mike Schubert, and I'm joined by my trusted co-host, the pure joy on the face of Nikola Jokic to him not winning the NBA championship, but his horse winning a horse race. It's Adam Mamuala. Adam, how's it going?
If there's anywhere to talk about horses, it's here. And I'm happy for Jokic, you know.
Yeah, I've very much enjoyed seeing the side-by-side video things of him breaking down in tears in joy for his horse winning a horse race, I believe in Serbia, and then contrasted with when he won the NBA championship and he was like, the job is done. We can go home now.
As we always say, he's just a relatable guy who has a day job that he tolerates but doesn't love to fund his true passions.
Work-life balance.
I love it.
Dude is really killing it. It's so fun that he is one of the greatest players of this era. And at any moment, he could say, I'm retiring to horse race. And you never know. He could play for 20 years.
Right.
He could retire tomorrow.
Also, it feels like there's no world in which he would want to do a farewell tour.
No, I also think there's no world in which he plays for any other team. Like, he's not going to do a farewell tour. He's not going to ring chase. Like,
exactly.
He's never even made any snide comment as the Nuggets ownership up until this offseason, because they got new people in the front office. Like, it seemed like they were just kind of like slowly watering down the team in favor of not having to pay a bunch of extra money. But they made some great moves in this offseason. But he never did the LeBron thing where he's like making comments or posts on social media and stuff. Like, dude got his title, dude got his bag, dude got his MVPs.
Yeah.
He'll probably win at least one more. And now he's got his horse titles.
Yeah. I agree with you, though. I don't think we're going to see like a Shaq on the Celtics or on the Cavs era of Jokic basketball.
No, and I hope more players can do this. Like, I hope Giannis just sticks in Milwaukee the whole time. He got the one ring, just like stay. We've seen Damian Lillard regret leaving Portland. I get it because he didn't win the ring, but I just think obviously it's easy for me to Monday morning quarterback this, but like, I would much rather be a city's guy than like try to ring chase, because like, does anyone care that Gary Payton won a ring with the Heat? Like, no. Right. I mean, obviously he couldn't. I guess he could have. When did he retire? Could he have stayed in Seattle his entire career?
I think so.
Yeah. When did Gary Payton retire?
Also, though, like, Gary Payton is not at the level of a Giannis or Jokic, I would say.
Sure. He ended his career in 2007.
It's more like KD going to the Warriors sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I like that Jokic is the guy for Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Giannis stays as the guy for the Bucks.
Right.
I think Dame will largely be remembered as the guy for Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see who else can be the guy for other places.
And tonight, you and I will find out if we can be the guy for our softball team.
Look, we're going to have to be. I don't know if people on the lawyer team listen to the pod, but this summer's lawyer roster is a bit thin around the edges.
I'm having a hard time staying locked in because I feel like both our team and the competition has not been great.
Oh, I feel like the competition has been there.
Mm.
I guess you were absent for some of the tougher games.
Yeah.
I am not finding it hard to stay locked in. I am finding it hard to not be so hard on myself because there's games where like I'll go 2 for 3 and I'll be like, God, if we went 3 for 3, we might have won.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like you and I are two of the better players on the team and we'll need to produce accordingly.
It's a fun challenge, but I also now see why some players in professional sports go, like I see why KD went to the Warriors. It's kind of nice. Like I'm thinking back to the championship team we had with Dog Pound, the pink team, like, man, that was pretty sweet. Like I had that playoff game where I went nuts and that was like a luxury as opposed to this current lawyer team season where it is a necessity.
We should mention too, even though it hasn't been relevant for at least 2 years, fuck AJ. That is still something that we
AJ.
feel. Wherever he is, fuck that guy.
I thought I saw him one of these days that we were playing a game and I was like racking my brain of like, oh no, what do I say? Like, I don't want to talk to it. And then thankfully it's just some guy that looked like him.
You should have told him where to be positioned like he would do specifically to the women on our team.
That's pretty good. I should have known it wasn't him though, because this was before a game started and he never showed up early.
Right. Yeah.
Always found a way to be starting in center field and batting third. Anyway, let's talk about basketball. This is a basketball podcast. We're going to get ready in the Teal Memorial locker room where AJ's not allowed. He's banned. There's not a lot of people banned from the Teal Memorial locker room. It's a very welcoming space.
Not only is he banned, there's like a photo of him on the wall that says, do not serve
do not
this man.
let this man in.
We used Dolan's facial recognition technology to keep him out of the building.
Dude, they made me take off my mask at the Wu-Tang concert at MSG so that the facial recognition would get my face. I really didn't like it. I was very displeased. But on the flip side, now, if you're like me and you wear a mask to the airport, or even not, you no longer have to do the thing where they take a picture of your face at TSA check-ins at airports. It's like completely voluntary now. Yeah, there's like, at least at the airports I've flown in, there's a little sign and it says, we don't actually have to take your picture. Then they have something that's like, we promise we delete your picture right after verification. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, bud. And you can say, no, please don't take my picture. And then they just have to like check your ID more, or sometimes they'll ask for your boarding pass if it's not one of the airports that asks for your boarding pass.
There you go.
I've done it the past like 4 times I've flown.
And soon you can keep your shoes on. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, I've been pre-check for a decade.
Me too. But for the plebes who don't have such things as global entry and TSA pre-check, now you too shall be able to keep your shoes on. But you can keep your shoes on or take them off in the Teal Memorial locker room, which is where we are right now. And you know who else is there?
Oh, man, it's our patrons, and we want to give a shout out to all of them, but especially our producer level patrons. The TSA pre-check of the global entry of patrons.
Yes, a streamlined horse experience.
Wow. Should we rebrand the Patreon tiers to all be airport things? Polly Bird, Salvatore Testa, Siobhan Ellsbury, Duncan Chasing Taco Falls, Bang, Bang, Roast Beef Debris, Denver, Steam Nuggets, Anna Reed, Steph Curry for Handles of the Year.
Yeah, it's an award that people can vote on, and because of that wild play where he goes like behind the back and then shoots off one leg at the end of the quarter, I'll post a link to it, but we talked about it at the time. Yeah. He was the fan vote for Handles of the Year, so just one more accolade for Steph Curry, and might I also add, Bang!
Yup. Chase Underulo, Naked Rachel, Sidney Crosby as a vampire, Chelsea's cousin, Ginger Spurs boy, Balls to the Balls, Mats Furley, and Utah Jash. You know who else is here in the Teal Memorial locker room?
Our sponsor.
It's our sponsor, Shaker and Spoon. Maybe there's a little alcove with a little like cocktail bar thing.
An alcove?
Oh, it's kind of like, again, to make another airport reference. I don't know if you're a lounge access boy, but sometimes.
Am I ever?
Yeah. What's wild is like some of the international ones where they just have like open bar and no one manning it. Like there's just like bottles of liquor.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times and I'm like, you're trusting people too much. This isn't a good idea.
Insane. Just wild. How is it legal?
Yeah, just like going to someone's house party and they've got like, oh, go get whatever you want from the bar.
But also like they don't like ID kids or something.
That
I don't know. I've never tried to
yeah.
get into a lounge with
Right.
someone young, but like if you were 16 in one of those, like with your dad traveling, it's like, here's a pint glass of gin, Timmy, drink up. Like, who's going to stop you? Anyway, what were we talking about? Shaker and Spoon.
Yeah.
So if you want to responsibly and legally drink alcohol, you can do so with Shaker and Spoon. And it can be a tasty experience because they are a delivery service. They send you a box that has all of the ingredients and all of the instructions to make fancy cocktails. You make 4 servings of 3 different types of drinks that all use the same liquor. You just provide the liquor. They provide everything else. It's cool. We've done it before. It's a fun time. Good for a party. Good for a small little get together. Good for just like watching the WNBA season as the playoffs approach. Lots of cool stuff there. And you can get $20 off your first box if you go to shakerandspoon.com/horse. Now, unless you're listening on Patreon, where you get access to episodes that don't have inserted ads, it's time for some inserted ads. But if you're listening on Patreon, we're just going to go on right through. Adam, what do you got going on?
Nothing too interesting, a lot of the same stuff, but as you are listening to this, the next show that I'll be doing is on Wednesday, August 20th. That is at the DC Comedy Loft in Washington, D.C. So if you're in the D.C., Baltimore, Northern Virginia area, hopefully you can come out to that show. It's just the one night only. Then in September, on the 12th and 13th, I'll be at Wethersfield, Connecticut. On the 20th of September, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And then for the moment, I don't have any bigger stuff until next year. But on January 8th, which is a Thursday, I'll be headlining the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins, Colorado. And then I will be at the Denver Comedy Lounge that whole weekend of the 9th and 10th. And then after that, I'm going to London, and I might try to set up a show there, but TBD.
Ooh, you got to eat at Dishoom as well. You got it.
Not only will I eat at Dishoom, but I was very excited to learn that Dishoom is coming to New York. Did you see this?
I saw that news yesterday, and that is great for my taste buds, bad for my wallet and waistline.
Fair enough. Worth it.
Yes.
What do you have coming up?
I've got the same things, but one is now made official. So upcoming in August, we've got the show in St. Louis. Then I'm in Enchanticon from August 15th through 17th. And then August 18th, I'm in Kansas City. Going to be doing TNO stuff there. 2 TNO shows at Enchanticon. And then in September, we've got the Providence show on September 13th and the Pittsburgh show on September 28th. The Providence show has changed to be just a TNO show, not a TNO and Potterless show, because we're doing it live streamed, and I'm streaming the end of the Mark of Athena book, which apparently has like some huge big plot twist. And we're going to live stream it to where I will read all the way up to what the big plot twist is and then read and live react to that plot twist on stage. So you'll get like my genuine in the moment reaction, not normal kind of thing where I like take notes ahead of time and say what I thought. You will get to see like exactly what I thought. And since we're video live streaming it, you can see my facial reactions and everything. So you can get tickets to all of the shows, including that live stream, at thenewestolympian.com/live or my other website, schub.es/tour. And the live stream also comes with a 7-day replay. So if 8 p.m. Eastern is a bad time for you because you live in Europe and it's 4 a.m, you don't have to watch it live, or you can be a sicko and you can do it. So that's it. I'm potentially doing a trip to Australia and New Zealand in November.
Oh.
And we're going to try to maybe do shows. That's like very, very penciled in, but
Right.
that's just the only other possibility on the horizon. Other than that, I'd be looking to start doing more live shows early next year. Cool. Alrighty. So with that, we could move on. Do we have an NB Q&A?
We do, and it's from one of our beloved producer-level patrons, Mats Furli. The question is as follows. NBA fans on social media are strange, even at the best of times. Couldn't agree more. But usually I can somewhat understand where their often kind of silly takes come from. But there's one argument that every time it comes up just confuses me. Why do so many people try to discredit the 2020 Lakers championship? What's the whole quote-unquote Mickey Mouse ring thing? Is it just LeBron hate or Lakers hate? Maybe both. Is there more to it? Because to me, and maybe I'm just dense, you're not, a ring is a ring, right? So I figured I'd ask you guys, you're reasonable people whose judgment I can trust, rather than the absolute train wreck that is the basketball communities on Reddit. Mats goes on to say, although asking Reddit could be fun in its own right, and I might go and do that anyway. I wanted to ask you this question. Thanks for the wonderful show. Y'all are the best. If I may, I'll take this one first. So the general idea around the whole premise of the Mickey Mouse ring, which is really just a way of saying like an illegitimate ring, something that is like not a real championship. And in this case, literal, because they played in the on the Disney grounds in the NBA bubble. it's a way to try to discredit a team for winning a championship in an unusual circumstance. So this is my take on it, and it's possible that you might disagree. I think of the championships that happened during that time, the NBA, to me, is not a Mickey Mouse championship because, number one, they played the vast majority of the regular season. Like when COVID happened, it was mid-March, and they essentially had 1 month of the season left anyway. And then they played a full playoffs as they usually would have, the only difference being there weren't fans and there were people on screens. I think if there's any case to be made for a quote-unquote Mickey Mouse championship, it's the Dodgers winning the World Series, because you cannot say that a 60-game season is the same wear and tear as a 162-game season, baseball reference, which is what a regular season would be. So my opinion is the Lakers deserve all of the credit for winning the championship. The Heat deserve all the credit for getting to the finals that year. And in some ways, I would say that playing in those circumstances was even more challenging than a regular championship. So I have no particular love for the Lakers nor LeBron necessarily, but like to me, that's a legit championship. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I think it's legit. I think it's silly that people try to discredit it. And I do think Matsu's onto something. I think that the discrediting is because of Lakers and LeBron hate. I think if the Miami Heat win it, and it's even if it wasn't against the Lakers, like if they had this magical run and won it, people would think it was a very cool championship. I just think people are always going to try to find a way to discredit LeBron because they don't like him. People are going to try to discredit the Lakers. Like it's always a thing. Whereas you look at some other championships and people don't, but like every championship has some sort of asterisk. You can play the what if game with every single championship that has ever happened. Mm-hmm. And the thing about the bubble is just like every team was operating under the same circumstances. There's no reason that the Lakers were better equipped in terms of like as inherent advantage. It's not like they were playing in Los Angeles or something. Like the only thing you can claim is that like some people didn't make the trip down, but like that's the same thing as if someone got injured, so you can't really wash that. And then there's other teams who just like completely crumbled under the weird social situation. And I don't fault any player who played poorly. Like that's a weird situation to be separated from your family potentially and be isolated. I totally get it. But if anything, the Lakers should get more credit in that they weathered that storm. Sure. Like I think it's part of a championship roster is to be able to have that mental fortitude. I think that's what allowed the Pacers this time around to do well. Like they won so many games in wild clutch situations, and that's just like not getting nervous and scared. And there's other teams like the Celtics against the Knicks and the Knicks against the Pacers who choked away late leads. And I think that shows some weakness in the mental fortitude. So I think that the Lakers ring in the bubble is completely legitimate, and I think the Mickey Mouse ring thing is just because people don't like LeBron and / the Lakers.
And I was, as you were describing all that, I was looking up like what the actual standings were that year. They essentially played a full season. Most teams played 73 games instead of 82 games. And that's my point about the baseball season, which is like, if you only play 60 games instead of 162, doing that math, that would be like if the NBA hadn't started and then within a COVID context played 30 regular season games and then based on those standings, then went to the playoffs. Then I could see more of a case for like, yeah, but like, what would the standings have been if they played 82 games rather than 30? But like, they played almost the full season. I do think that it was arguably a tougher challenge to succeed in those circumstances. So, to me, Mats, first of all, it's not a bad question whatsoever. You're not dense. People are just haters, and that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes MB Q&A. Now we can get into full court press. Get it? Like the news?
I do.
So there's a couple of different things going on. We've got some NBA offseason stuff. It's kind of winding down a little bit. We've got WNBA trade deadline happening, and let's talk about both of them. As far as stuff with the NBA, I think the biggest news is all like silly stuff, like Luka Doncic looking skinny on Men's Fitness magazine and stuff, which is just funny. Like I just think this guy being angered into getting into the best shape of his life, like getting fit out of spite, I think is fantastic. That's the best way to get in shape.
I think a lot of people get fit out of spite. I remember a comedian years ago having a joke about like every six pack is born out of like trauma.
Yeah, look, I get it. So he's looking good, and I'm very intrigued. I just wish this was happening not on the Lakers. It would be so much more fun if this was any other team, but alas, like that's going to be it. But speaking of the Lakers and stuff, this has created, and that's been kind of the drama of this offseason, this interesting wrinkle where clearly the Lakers want to move on to the Luka era, but they still do have LeBron on the team. And it's this weird thing where like I can see both sides. The basic quickest summary I can give is that the Lakers are still happy to have LeBron on the team, but they are trying to switch from being a LeBroniocentric team and switch to a Luka-centric team, where basically if your focus is LeBron, you're trading away everything right now to try to win like tomorrow. If you're focusing on Luka, like, yeah, you could win the title now, but you're probably in your best interest if you're trying to like build something sustainable so that you can have a couple of swings at it and not kind of cash in all the chips for one final thing. Like you got to do, like LeBron is going to play for maybe a couple more years, but like this year might be the last like LeBron year because he's starting to get hurt more. He's getting older. It's tougher.
We'll see. I mean, I still think when he's on the court, he's incredibly gifted and efficient and still a top 15, top 20 player in the league when he's out there. The fact that he is getting injured, despite one of the hallmarks of his career being that he almost never gets injured, I think that's really more of a sign of where things are going age-wise. But I also don't think that he can't coexist with Luka in the sense that, like, Luka to me is more of a perimeter volume guy. And part of what makes LeBron so great is that he can put up 25 points on like 10 field goal attempts. So I still think that they can, coexist well. And with the other pieces that they've added, hopefully make a run at it. Because if we've got an angry, in-shape Luka for a full season in LA, along with LeBron playing close to the level that he's been at the past few years and theoretically being healthy for at least, 75% of the season and the playoffs, I like their chances, I would say.
Yeah, I think that they will be a good team this year, but I wouldn't call them like a legit true contender. They've got the upside for it, but I think the main thing is just kind of like in their approach. So LeBron opted into the player option of the last year of his deal, which is like $50-something million. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like the Lakers want to extend that, or at least extend it at a similar number. And Rob Pelinka, who's the president of basketball operations there, has made some sort of comments of like, we would love for LeBron to finish his career here, but, basically saying like, we'd love for LeBron to end as a Laker. It's not a priority of ours to make LeBron end as a Laker. So they're not going to like do some big extension. Because like, yeah, I think they're at the point where it is nice to have LeBron on the team, but the smartest thing is not to spend maximum money on this version of LeBron when you could instead spend maximum money on someone who is closer in age to Luka and maybe sign a longer contract and then be good for years and years to come. So I think the front office is kind of in like a take it or leave it with LeBron sort of thing. And I think LeBron would rather really compete. But at the same time, LeBron would also rather make $50-something million, which is why he opted in. With a player option, you can opt out. So like if he really doubted the Lakers' commitment to try and win this year and he thinks he's got to make a run at this year, like you could have opted out and then signed with another team who has great title odds, like my beloved New York Knicks, for example, just to name a team. But I think LeBron wanted to have his cake and eat it too. And we've seen that happen in the NBA where people will opt into these big deals and then force a trade. But it usually gets very messy. And does LeBron want that to be very messy at the end of his career? Like, does he want the final taste in everyone's mouth of LeBron James, him doing his like LeBron passive aggressive thing, which he hasn't done for like a decade. So it's been very nice that he hasn't done that. So does he really want to go out with like forcing his way either back to Cleveland or onto Golden State?
Watch him end his career with the expansion Las Vegas team. Doesn't that feel so LeBron?
He wants to own that team. So I think if the thing actually timeline added up, he would find a way to make that happen.
Well, you figure that's going to be something within the next like 2 or 3 years, which is probably around the time that he would be finishing. Am I wrong on that?
I don't think so. And this is another news thing we can talk about, is because the NBA is trying to establish NBA Europe. They are trying to establish a league in Europe to compete with EuroLeague. And there's been a lot of talk about that really gaining some steam, and it feels like that will take precedent over NBA league expansion. It feels like they're going to try to do that. Then there was like some reporting that they're racing to do it because there's fear of LeBron and Maverick Carter, his like business partner, teaming up with the Saudis to set up like another league with Saudi Arabia money, which would be
notably
wild.
Clean money.
Very ethical dollars,
Yeah.
But apparently like this reporting, and I don't know how legit it was, but this reporting was like, LeBron doesn't care. And it's like, well, I don't know. But there is like a real rush for the NBA to try and make their Europe League. But there is less of that to expand the team. And what sucks is that like Adam Silver is a commissioner. Obviously, the stuff he did immediately with the Sterling situation was good, but for most of his tenure, like his job as the commissioner is to make the league more profitable, and he has done that. And it just sucks that continually in our capitalism hellscape, it's not about improving the quality of the product; it's about improving shareholder value. And that's what this move feels like, where like the NBA would be better if there were more teams in America and fewer games, but instead, or at least in North America, right? Like they've talked about Mexico City expansion or bringing a team back to Vancouver. Like I think the NBA would be better with 32 teams in North America as opposed to like creating a separate league. Because like the EuroLeague already exists. Like there's no need to do this other than money.
Right, but exactly, we want a piece of that money, yeah.
Right. And that sucks. Like it's not going to, I don't think this is going to make European basketball better. I don't think it's going to have these players be better when they come over. Like European and international players are already dominating the league. Like most of our recent MVPs are not American. So for this to be set up purely just feels like a money grab. And that stinks because that's not a good enough reason to do something.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think the timeline for LeBron to be on the Las Vegas whatevers and then own them is in play, but he has talked about wanting to own a team. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
And maybe he will. You know, who knows? Other NBA stuff, De'Aaron Fox got himself a bag.
Yes. He got himself a bag, but an interesting bag. So it's a 4-year deal with no player option at the end and no trade kicker. A trade kicker is something that usually gets put into some of these bigger contracts where if you trade a player away, their salary towards the new team is like 10% higher or 15% higher. And this is kind of like the middle step between a no trade clause, which is when a player can say, I don't want to be on that team. You can't trade me there. It's kind of a way to say, there's more security in you sticking around because it's harder to trade you. But if we really want to make it happen, we can. Because his contract doesn't have the player option or a trade kicker, the writing on the wall is that they're going to trade De'Aaron Fox before the contract ends, which I do think makes the most sense for the Spurs because he's good. He's not make more money than Luka Doncic good. Luka also signed his extension, but his is the max that he can get based on years in the league, and he's setting himself up for his supermax thing later, blah, blah, blah. But I think this is like way too much money for De'Aaron Fox right now. But with the Spurs, a lot of their good players are on rookie contracts. So it's kind of like what OKC was able to do where they overpaid Isaiah Hartenstein because their younger dudes' big contracts haven't kicked in yet. So yeah, he got himself a bag, but the way it was structured, everyone's like, okay, so no one is expecting him to be on the team for all 4 of these years, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they could be pretty good pretty soon, so.
Yes, I do think they are going to really take some people by surprise because I think they're going to have a huge improvement over last year, especially because Wemby missed like half the season. But yeah, the Spurs have become scary immediately. And I think we can soon be living in a world where the West is like, oh yeah, the Spurs are the Thunder and then some other teams. It'll be that, I think, in like 3 years' time, unless like stuff really goes sideways. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox got himself the bag. Yeah. As far as some other things, in the WNBA, trade deadline is going on. My beloved Seattle Storm made a trade for Brittany Sykes. They traded away Alicia Clark and a first-round pick in a move that I think kind of makes sense for everyone. The Mystics are a very young team, and they have a lot of draft picks next season. So they're trading away their best player, or arguably their best player, to kind of like keep the tank going because they're at risk of making the playoffs. Keep the tank going, get another draft pick, and then the Storm because of trades, have 3, or at least they had 3 first-round picks before making this trade, and then they traded away their own pick, which is going to be the worst of the 3 because the other 2 are from the Aces and the Sparks, who are both worse than the Storm right now. So the Storm probably wouldn't be able to fit all 3 rookies onto the team anyway. So I think it does make sense for them to trade away a pick in order to get a very solid player in Brittany Sykes, who's named an all-star this year, just a quality player, 15 points a game. Like, she can ball. And the only sad thing is that Alicia Clark is part of the trade because she was on the Storm for a while, then she was off, then she was coming back. She's probably going to play like 1 more year. So it's this whole thing of like, oh, cool, she'll get to retire as a member of the Storm. And then this trade happens and it's like, just kidding.
Yeah.
Thanks, AC. We appreciate everything you've done. But like, she was also not playing super well. So like, I kind of get it. It just sucks when like something is set up to be a cool, sentimental ending to a career. And then it just doesn't pan out as you would have hoped.
Yeah. Did you see the score of the Lynx Aces game recently?
It was like a 50-point blowout or something, right?
The Lynx beat the Aces by 53 points.
That's wild, especially
what a fall from grace for the Aces.
Yeah, they've had the fall from graces. Like, it's been a bad one. Like, I didn't have super high hopes about the Kelsey Plum in exchange for Jewel Lloyd situation. Just didn't feel like the basketball fit was there. And it's just been really, really disappointing. And yes, Asia Wilson has dealt with some injury stuff, and that'll do it because she's incredible. But yeah, that's just domination by the Lynx.
Yeah, final score is 111-58, and this was in a game that Nafisa Collier got hurt and left in the third quarter. So even with no, theoretically, she would have sat in the fourth quarter anyway, but yeah, pretty wild. And the Lynx somehow have even improved because they traded with the Dallas Wings to get Dejanay Carrington, who is very good, a very good player, a very good defender. And the Wings, I think, also are trying to be a little bit worse so that they can continue to try and build around Paige Beckers. But yeah, for the Lynx to add Dejanay is wild. So the trade was that they received Dejanay and they sent out Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and a 2027 second round pick. And like, that's, I feel like, not the greatest return for Dejanay. This really kind of felt like a Dallas, like, let's get worse and let's dump Dejanay. I don't know what her contract situation was. Maybe it was one of those things of like, we're going to lose her for nothing, so let's at least get something kind of thing. But that just like didn't feel like the proper move for someone who is very good. I mean, on Dallas this year, she put 10.5 points, 5 rebounds, and a steal per game. Like, I don't know. I think it might also just be like she wasn't a fit around Paige, and the Dallas Wings are trying to be very Paige heavy. But for the Lynx, who are already dominating the league, to add elite defender Dejanay Carrington, who also can score and get rebounds, like, that's, if you're a Liberty fan, you hate to see that. Because right now the Lynx are 25-5 and the Liberty are 19-10. Like, that's just wild. I think it's really certainly become the Lynx's title to lose. I think going into the season, it was like, it'll be Lynx and Liberty again. And with the play of Nafisa Collier and now some of these moves, the Lynx are looking absolutely terrifying. I want no piece of them in the playoffs. I would absolutely love if the way it broke, the Storm don't have to ever see the Lynx unless they make the finals, because I don't want to play them. They're so good. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it would be a shock if the Lynx don't win it. Like, I think we're getting to the territory where it's like the Lynx or the field would be the fair bet for who's going to win the whole thing. I do feel like before we move on, we should briefly touch on the negative nonsense around the WNBA recently, which is now 3 separate incidents where someone has thrown a dildo, a neon sex toy.
I think it's always been neon green, which makes it feel like it's some sort of concerted effort.
Toy. Clearly this is like, I mean, it sounds silly to even talk about, but like, it is a concerted and organized effort. And as much as people want to like joke around about it, number one, it is genuinely like a safety thing. Like, if you hit somebody in the face with a flying object while they're playing, that's not a great thing. And also, like, are we 8 years old? Like, is the joke we're throwing sex toys onto the court because some of these players are lesbians? Like, also, that requires you leaving your house with a green dildo concealed somewhere on your person. And I would be very curious to know whose idea this was. Is it some sort of like stupid radio station who's like, if you do this and you can pull it off, we'll give you $1,000. Like, it seems like something that a truly childish person would have come up with.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't understand what motivates people to do stuff like that.
My guess, because it has been a lime green one every time, is that it is from someone who's like, it's like probably branded in some way. And I think whoever is doing the reporting of it is doing a good job of like not giving whoever's doing this press. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's some sort of thing where like they try to do it and then in hopes that people like buy their products out of a joke. Whether this
I
is like,
don't think so. I
mean, just the fact that they're all lime green just makes me, it just, I don't know, maybe I'm too like always thinking that capitalism is the answer to everything.
I don't think this is some viral guerrilla marketing plan. I feel like it's just people being assholes.
Maybe it just feels too specific to be like, if it's just people being jerks, like, why do they all have to be lime green? I mean, maybe there was like a bulk order on sale or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, it sucks because, yeah, someone could get hit by it. Like, Sophie Cunningham got grazed by one of them, I think the third one. And like, I don't know, if you do it and people are like sprinting on the court and slip on one, like you could roll an ankle, injure a knee, like really scary stuff could happen. So like, it sucks in so many different ways. So that's whack. Another WNBA thing, though, the Connecticut Sun are being sold. It's this weird thing where it like got reported and then the ownership group was like, it's not official, but like it seems almost like it's a sure thing where they're getting sold to a Boston sports group. I think it's like the minority owner of the Celtics. And it looks like starting in as early as 2027, the Connecticut Sun could move to Boston. I'm assuming they would be renamed and rebranded and everything, but it does make me very intrigued because the Sun are really bad. They kind of like blew up the team this year. And
yeah.
They're 5-23 at the time of recording this. They're awful. Sun tickets are super cheap and Connecticut's not that far. They're like, if I didn't have a baby to watch, like I feel like I would be Amtrakking to Connecticut a lot to go to Sun games. Like I would be sitting courtside at a Sun game, baby. So maybe I'll try to have to make that happen next year. I don't know if there'd be like some weird push where there'd be more expensive tickets than there last year, or would they be less expensive because nobody cares anymore?
Hard to say. I have been to a game there and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. Interesting thing. We'll see. I think it's probably like, not to disrespect the state of Connecticut, but I do think it is probably like better for the league for the team to be in Boston. It is such a nearby city that if you're a big Sun fan, I don't think it's a huge endeavor to go to Boston instead of Connecticut for the games. So it's not like when the Sonics got moved to Oklahoma City. And for the league, like, yeah, to put it into a bigger city with a bigger market, they'll probably play in the place where the Celtics play. So like there's just chance for it to like really put more shine on the league. So from a league perspective, I get it. But yeah, I mean, the Sun have been around for a while, so it's sad, but it's again, on the flip side, like a glaring error that Boston didn't have a WNBA team. So good for them.
Look out for the Lady Celtics.
God, I hope not. God,
it won't be that.
I think I saw a comment. I don't know where it was. I saw a comment somewhere that was like, they should call them the Gaelics. Like, just
how about the ball Reveres?
Oh my gosh!
Come on!
Let's do it. But that concludes Full Court Press. Get it like the news.
So for today's That Actually Happened, I'm going to focus on one particular NBA player's offseason. Now, usually when you think of an NBA player in their downtime, you picture yachts, parties, women, drinking, etc. Basically, the LeBron, can't believe this is my life meme. Now, to be fair, a lot of players use the time to be with their families and recharge or get some training in. But today, we're going to focus on the unique offseason getaway for the league's fastest rising star. Let's talk about that time Victor Wembanyama spent 10 days at Shaolin Temple in China.
I'm glad you did a deep dive on this because I've seen the clips, but I didn't get the full story. And it's just, Wemby is forever fascinating.
Oh, yeah. And also, quick side note, shout out to Wemby for retweeting someone calling out Karl Malone for being the rapist that he is.
Yeah, the NBA wished him a happy birthday, and then someone quote tweeted it with a video that's like, "No, we're not doing this, and then Wemby retweeted it, and I don't think he's taking it down.
Yeah.
It's wild that the NBA like parades him around. Like, I don't expect them to do full-fledged, we don't like Karl Malone, but for him to be like courtside at the All-Star game when it was in Utah and then do things like this, like, what are we doing? It's 2025.
Yeah. And separately, there was this other thing where Richard Jefferson was saying that like Karl Malone was a better example than Charles Barkley, which I don't even.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, not surprised Richard Jefferson would have a cold take. That dude, not a fan.
Yeah. Anyway, the 21-year-old Wemby had been vacationing in China prior to this retreat, and on June 5th, the Spurs Instagram account shared a video of him visiting the Great Wall, which to him is just a wall. He's a very big man.
The small fence.
Yeah. But upon completing the tourist component of his trip, Wemby decided to embark on a 10-day stay at the Shaolin Temple located in Zhengzhou, China. I looked up the pronunciation. A place that, according to one article I read, quote, welcomes visitors who wish to study Chan meditation, Shaolin Kung Fu, traditional Chinese medicine, and more, end quote. But before we get any further, let's break down what all of that refers to. Chan, and I didn't know this because we have a friend whose last name is Chan, but Chan is the Chinese word for Zen, which I would assume more people are familiar with. And according to my research, here are some core tenets of the Chan meditation technique. It can refer to the various meditative states of stillness and focused awareness. The mind of the practitioner, once freed from distractions, experiences discernment and insight in progressive stages of depth and clarity. As with most forms of Buddhist meditation, Chan and Zen is not strictly speaking a meditation style as much as it is a quality of mind, the ability to see events clearly in the present moment and to respond appropriately, which certainly sounds relevant to an athlete, I would say. And finally, Chan meditation is also a practice, a contemplative exercise, but the practice only comes about because we lose sight of our original face, our true nature, we forget who we are. The practicing of Chan, then, is only to remind, restore, recover. That is why Chan is called the Great Return, the Great Reversal.
We should start calling our friend Chris Chan the Great Reversal.
I like it. As for Shaolin Kung Fu, it is a combined practice of Chan philosophy and martial arts. It was developed at the very Shaolin temple at which Wemby stayed, which was first established in the year 495. You read that correct.
Old temple, baby.
Not 1495, 495 AD. So what did Wemby actually do during his visit, and what was the goal? I need you to brace yourself for the absolute word salad that is about to come out of my mouth. But the majority of these quotes come from comments Wemby made while being interviewed by Kevin Hart at Fanatics Fest in New York City, sitting shirtless in a Wemby-sized tub next to a shirtless Kevin Hart in a noticeably smaller tub.
Oh, they did his like ice bath TV show thing. Yeah.
Whatever. According to Wemby, he very much bought in and was committed to learning during his time at the temple. He shaved his head, did kung fu every day, was isolated, and when he ate at the temple, his diet consisted of a vegan offering of zucchini and rice noodles. He did admit, however, that he snuck out to supplement his diet with meat, given that he is trying to bulk up this offseason. And by the way, he's up to 245 pounds, which is a 10-pound increase from last year and a 35-pound increase from his rookie year. So watch the F out.
I yearn. I love my job. I wouldn't trade it for many other jobs. I would love to be in one of those things where you get paid a bunch of salary money and your imperative is get ripped. Like when Michael B. Jordan booked to be on Creed and they're like, all right, what's my job for the next 6 months before we start filming? Eat steak and lift, bud. I would love if that was just the job. In addition to like, I have the flexibility to go to the gym after I finish work for the day.
Right. You have like a personal chef. Your whole goal is personal chef, personal trainer.
So Kelly and I's answer to if you ever got like stupid money, what would be the first thing you buy? And for us, personal chef. Yeah.
1,000%. Mm-hmm. Easy answer. Honestly.
No question.
So in Wemby's own words, quote, "It was a great experience. My goal going there was putting my body through things that it's not used to doing and allowing my range of movement and strength. This was probably as different as possible from what I'm used to doing," end quote. Despite breaking the rules by leaving the temple during his stay for dietary reasons, he was happy to adhere to the other traditions. According to Wemby...
Sorry, I'm just imagining Wemby sneaking out. 7'4".
Well, more on that to come. According to Wemby, the first thing the Buddhist monks asked him to do was shave his head, which he apparently did without hesitation. He even joked, "It was worth it. I'm pretty sure I'm Buddhist now." I'm not really sure if that's
I don't know if that's how it
but
works.
let's go with that.
Also, doesn't he keep his hair relatively short? Like, it's not a big
no,
deal.
He had like a kind of like mini fro
Okay.
in the video of him in China before going to the temple. But all joking aside, I really do find it wildly impressive that a 21-year-old multimillionaire superstar athlete would choose to spend part of his offseason this way. This guy has everything at his fingertips, and it really seems like he wants to be great, which you have to respect. It should also put the rest of the league on notice, and it certainly has, especially in the Reddit thread where Wemby's temple visit was being discussed a few months ago. Now, some of the comments are truly hilarious, and in that spirit, I'd like to read a few of my favorites. For this first comment, you need to know that I think it's pronounced Pai Mei. It was the kung fu master in the film Kill Bill. That's what's important for you to understand the context. The comment says, a Pai Mei trained Wemby will be unstoppable. He's going to use the 5-point palm exploding heart technique on defenders. There will literally be murders. Another person says, ain't no way the locals ain't tell the monks he was out eating lavish, laughing emoji. And someone responds by saying, that man ran all 50,000 steps to the bottom of the temple's mountain every night to get that street meat. The locals can't climb up there to tattle. To which someone else responded, I mean, that's like 6 steps for Wemby, so I believe it. And finally, another user writes, league better watch out for Zen Wemby, to which someone else replies, Zenby, to which someone else replies, Zenbanyama, to which a fourth person responds, Zendaya. Unrelated,
yep, correct.
But I just wanted to get involved.
Correct. Yeah, that's great.
Finally, while I generally don't condone bullying, this comment had me rolling. Quote, Zion Williamson on his experience at the Golden Corral in Metairie, Louisiana.
Oh, no.
My goal going there was putting my body through things that it's used to doing. All you can eat baby back ribs every day. It was like an all you can eat temple. I was overindulging.
Oh, no.
But in any case, there's no questioning that Wemby is one of the most physically gifted athletes to ever play in the NBA. But I firmly believe that in professional sports, the mental side of the game is the true difference maker between good and great. At that level, everybody is the best of the best, and the only thing that really separates people is their ability to tune out all the noise and get the job done. So if Wemby has already started tapping into that at 21, with everything he has already accomplished and the players around him, the league truly better watch out, and that actually happened.
They also better watch out. I don't think Wemby is the type to ever get so angry that he would actually fight someone on court, but it would be funny if someone, did something and he got really angry and then he just like all 7'4" of him does some sort of Shaolin kung fu move and just like kicks somebody halfway across the court.
I mean, the guy's arm span is like 10 feet long.
Oh my gosh. He would look like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Game of Death. Like just... an absolute force. I do not want to... We
saw a play this year where it looked like the end of Space Jam, where Jordan's arm is stretched out, but it was a real-life play where Wemby did like a drop-step dunk almost from the free throw line.
I'm glad Wemby is such a nice dude and is such a good attitude, hardworking guy, because if he was any sort of a jerk, it would just be so easy to hate him. Just be like, oh, it's so unfair. This dude's 7'4", blah, blah, blah. But since he's like so likable, it makes his cheat code of a physique feel more palatable. Oh, yeah. And I won't be angry seeing him dominate the league for the next 10 years.
Totally.
All righty. Well, that was fun.
1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 3 on 3.
Now, my 3 on 3 is very, 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 very different. So with the WNBA expanding, I was reminded that I once did a 3 on 3 for the best and worst defunct WNBA team names, because now some of them are no longer defunct. And then I was thinking like, oh, I don't know if I've done that with the NBA on this episode, but I know there's one group that I definitely did not do it with, and I will be doing it for this 3 on 3. We're going to do the best and the worst defunct NBA G League team names.
Oh, interesting. I actually didn't know that there were a lot of interesting ones, because I feel like a lot of them are just like the G League Bulls.
There's a couple of those now, but there's actually quite a few wild ones that happened in the past. So for anyone unfamiliar, the NBA G League is basically like the minor leagues for the NBA. I think every team has some sort of affiliate. I think there are a couple of G League teams that don't have a direct affiliate. I think maybe just the Mexico City team now. Like it used to also be the G League Ignite, which was kind of like a team that funneled people into the draft. But now with the NIL deals in college, that team didn't really need to exist anymore. Right. So the G League used to be called the D League, where the D stood for developmental, but that just kind of started to sound, like D, like the grade. And then also the G does stand for Gatorade. So it is a branded sponsor thing as well.
It's the Gatorade League?
Oh, you didn't know that's what the G stands for?
No.
Yeah, the G
That's
stands
so
for
funny.
Gatorade. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they bought the rights to it. And so it's this weird thing of like, well, I guess that's better than D League, but it is sponsored. But it's at least a relevant one. Like, it's not like the Meineke Car League or something, it's right. Or the Bad Boy Mowers League. Like, it's at least Gatorade is like, yeah, basketball, sure.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
The G League, originally the NBA DL was, or I think maybe just NBDL, maybe not NBA DL, NBDL.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The NBDL was founded in 2001, with its first season being 2001 to 2002.
NBDL sounds like trying to do like shorthand for no big deal.
No big deal. It's like your parent messing up an acronym. Yeah.
Right.
So the NBDL began, and there was a lot of teams in the southeastern United States. Like, there were 4 teams in the Carolinas when it began. And then a lot of these teams like moved around and stuff. So when I was looking at the defunct names, it's a lot of like, this team used to be this, used to be this, used to be this. And now they're the South Bay Lakers. So even though a lot of the teams now, or at least a portion of them now, have like the same name or a related name, they had eras before where they had wild ones. So let's go into the worst, because it's always more fun to end on a positive note.
Sure.
So my number 3 worst team name is the Arkansas Rim Rockers, where Rim Rockers is one word and then the R's are both capitalized. I think like this could be a fun name if they leaned more into the absurd nature of the name, but like the logo was just like a basketball going through a rim, and the colors were red, white, and blue. So it didn't feel like they embraced the rim rocker nature. Now, if the Rim Rockers was like Cleveland's G League team and it was all
like
music, rock and roll Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like they were the Rim Rockers. It seemed like they were the Rim Rockers, and that's not as much fun. Also, like, seems like there's no tie to Arkansas. There's no reason. It doesn't sound particularly cool. Now, I will say that they did have a brief stint where they moved to La Crosse, Wisconsin, and the La Crosse Rim Rockers sounds very good. But I think specifically the Arkansas Rim Rockers just feels like, what are we doing? I don't know. It didn't seem particularly fun.
Yeah, and you'd hope that they would have fun with the merch and stuff the way minor league baseball teams do, where it's like, let's just make the merch as outlandish as possible and really like buy into the absurdity of the name.
Yeah. Didn't work out, though. So my number 2 is actually going to multiple teams. This is going to the Colorado 14ers, the Tulsa 66ers, and the Delaware 87ers. Now, I know that it is a thing, like the Philadelphia 76ers didn't invent the thing. It was like a thing that like a lot of old teams would do. But at least when you're creating a league in the year 2001, you can not have to do this old school thing. And I feel like by this point in time, if you were making a basketball team after 2000 and it's going to be an team, you should be the Sixers G League affiliate. So I'm actually going to give the Delaware 87ers a pass because they are the Sixers G League affiliate. I think that's totally fine. I'm sure 1987 has some sort of reason that they did it. I didn't look it up because I've already.
Do they exist anymore? Or no,
they do. They are their current G League.
I feel like as someone born in 1987, I feel like I might need some merch from them.
Ooh, yeah, their logo is cool. I wonder if they changed their name. Let me quick Google it. But there was something they might have changed from the 87ers to something else. Sorry. So they are now the Delaware Bluecoats. They rebranded in 2018.
And I shan't be buying merch.
But the Delaware Bluecoats, the logo's pretty cool. It's like a horse wearing a varsity jacket with the outline of the state of Delaware where like the varsity letter would be, and then the 76 of the 76ers logo on the sleeve. So
horses don't wear coats, Michael.
Oh, dang, you're right. My bad. But I do want to say that a fun thing about the Delaware 87ers is that they used to be called the Utah Flash, which makes me think of Utah Jash, our producer level patron. Now, I looked up the reasoning behind the 14ers and the 66ers. The Colorado 14ers are named after Colorado's 14,000-foot mountain peaks, which does not feel like a good enough reason to be the 14ers.
I mean, people in Colorado know that. Like, that is a thing that I've heard about, but I don't think anyone else knows what that means. No. And also, it's not great.
And then Tulsa, the 66ers, was because of Route 66, which runs through Tulsa and Oklahoma. But like Route 66 also goes through other cities and states. So I don't know. The 66ers
I feel like
just felt
Tulsa
weird.
has more things that people could know about it than that Route 66 goes through there, as it does many other states as well.
Yeah, they could be the Tulsa Bill Haderers from here-ers, and I think that would be a little bit better.
The Haderers.
The Haderers, yeah, the Chenowethers. Yeah, like I think you could do some better stuff there. Also, just 66ers is too close to 76ers if you're not going to be the G League affiliate. But yeah, all the ers got my second worst, but my number one worst goes to the Los Angeles Defenders, but it is not Defenders, it's D-Fenders. I think inspired by the fact that it was called the D League. So they were the Defenders. The reason that they got the number one worst spot is because their name was chosen in a Name the Team contest, which had a March Madness style bracket with 64 team names, and voting took place from April to June 2006. And there was this whole big bracket, and Breakers actually was the original team name, which is cool. But they couldn't go with Breakers because the Lakers organization learned that there was a local co-ed dwarf basketball team already using the name. So they couldn't be the Los Angeles Breakers, which already sounds cool. And then they're the G League team for the Lakers. Like, so you got the Lakers and the Breakers.
Yeah.
Like, and
real quick, what is a dwarf basketball team? Does that mean?
I would assume short.
Little people?
Yes.
Or children?
I would assume little people. Let me just Google Los Angeles.
I've just never heard
Breakers
that term before.
Dwarf basketball. Okay. Here's an article from 1989 that says LA Breakers pursue third consecutive Dwarf Athletic Association basketball championship. So that's fun in the Los Angeles Times. I don't know if they are still around. Nothing is really showing up on Google, but
that's okay. I just had never heard that term before.
Yeah, I had not heard it, but it does seem like the last articles I can see about it are from like the mid 2000s, I guess, when they were forming this. So yeah, I personally don't know if dwarf is now an outdated term. If, you know, like, I'm pretty sure little people is more accepted, but I don't know if they're separate.
I think, to be completely honest with you, I feel like dwarf is something that like people thought was bad, and then people who are actually in the community, in the same way that black people are like, you can say black person, you don't have to say African American, because like I have a friend who is black, he's Jamaican American, he's not African American, he considers himself Jamaican American. Anyway,
quick Googling says that dwarf is more of a medical term to describe someone who has dwarfism. So maybe that's like any sort of thing. But yeah, I guess maybe all the players are people with dwarfism. I don't know. Maybe we could. Look, could be a future that actually happened if I can find more things more than just a cursory Google. But regardless.
Also, the Breakers would be a fun team name for a team that plays in Rhode Island, because the Breakers is like a very famous mansion in Newport.
The more you know.
One of the old rich fat cats lived. Carnegie or Rockefeller, or one of those peeps.
Fancy schmancy. But yeah, Defenders, I don't know how this won a 64 team name vote thing, because people are just like, it's got D in it. Like, I don't get how that went.
And then with a hyphen, it sounds like fender, like a car fender. And that's like a weird thing too.
Or fender like guitar. Again, we're making more and more G League teams for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right.
Now let's get into the three best ones. They're more fun. So number 3 is going to the Charleston Low Gators. I don't know what a low gator is. I don't know if that's different than
all
regular
gators seem
gator.
Low.
Yeah, but
they're pretty low to the ground, are they not?
When I Google low gator, the first result is Charleston Low Gators. And then the second thing is like shoes, like low top gator skin shoes. So I don't really know if that's anything different, but you got the Charleston Low Gators, who previously were called the North Charleston Low Gators, to be even more specific. So they began in the D League in 2001. Alex English, NBA legend, was their first coach. They were renamed the Charleston Low Gators in 2003, and then they eventually relocated to Fort Myers in 2004 and became the Florida Flame, which I think is a fun phonetic one. The Florida Flame.
Sure.
Is fun
but also
to say.
in Florida, they could have still been the Gators and it would have made just as much sense.
Would have made lots of sense. But that's my number 3 on it, because just like, what's a low gator? I don't know, but it's cool. I like it. For my number 2 team, I'm going with the Roanoke Dazzle. The Dazzle. I just love it. It sounds so antiquated.
No just Dazzle?
They're just the Dazzle. The Roanoke Dazzle. So they were one of the original teams. So on July 18th, 2001, it was announced that the team would be called the Dazzle. And this was purposefully chosen because they did not want to invoke Roanoke's railroad heritage, which we all know about, because they have 2 other professional teams, the Roanoke Express, who at the time at least were a minor league hockey team, and the Roanoke Steam, an arena football team. So they were like, we don't want to be the train team. What's the opposite of trains? Dazzle. But here's what's wild about it. Their logo is a star, which makes sense because of Dazzle, on top of railroad tracks. So they decided, no, we cannot be railroad team. However, our logo will be a star going down a railroad track with a basketball in the background. But yeah, I don't know why that would be the decision.
It's unclear to me as well.
But regardless, I think Dazzle is a very fun name, worthy of the number 2 spot, second only to my number 1 pick, the Greenville Groove.
Groove.
I like
Groove and Dazzle. We've got all sorts of retro terms.
Yeah. Groove, I think, is just a fun team name. Greenville Groove is some fun alliteration. And I feel like it works for South Carolina. You know, you got some good music in that part of America.
It feels very 60s, 70s, like an ABA team almost.
Yes, it really, really does. And I think it just sounds very different from any other team. I also have a soft spot in this because in my create a team, my league in NBA 2K19 or 20 or 21, it was something. I have an NBA 2K game where I created an expansion team and I made them the Vancouver Groove because I thought it was
the
fun.
Vangroovers.
Exactly. And for there to actually have been a basketball team called the Groove makes me very happy. So there's also some cool stuff about the Groove. Stephanie Reddy was the team's only assistant coach, and she became the first woman to serve as coach on an all-male professional basketball team.
Very cool.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Milton Barnes served as head coach in the first season. They won the D-League championship, and then the next season, left the job so that he could become the head coach of the Harlem Globetrotters. I did not know they had coaches.
What are they working on?
I don't know. I can only assume it's a higher paying gig,
Sure.
But I did not know that they had coaches. So yes, they actually won the first NBDL championship. There was a best of 3 final series between them and the North Charleston Low Gators, and they swept them 2-0. Now, the Groove also played in the first ever NBDL game. It was between the Groove and the Low Gators. So they played in the first game ever, and they faced each other in the finals, which I think is very fun. Mm-hmm. And this game featured Ansu Sese, who won MVP of the league in 2002, Fred House, who won Rookie of the Year in 2002, Jeff Myers, who won Defensive Player of the Year in 2002, and then Alex English, NBA Hall of Famer, as the head coach. And then you've got Stephanie Reddy in there as the first women's coach of an all-male basketball team. And that's the history of the Greenville Groove, my number 1 pick for the coolest name of a defunct NBA G League team.
I love that. That was really fun. And I've never heard of really any of those teams, and I would assume most of our listeners have not as well. So
I hadn't either. I would highly recommend people go to the Wikipedia page for defunct G League team names. There's 29 in the list there. It was very hard just to limit it to these 6. And honestly, they're all great. Like I could have done the 3 best and the 3 other best. There's a lot of fun ones in there, a lot of fun logos. I couldn't find a logo for the Greenville Groove, which was disappointing.
If there's not like tie-dye involved, what are we even doing?
Their colors are blue and green, which is fun, but I couldn't find any logo that was not just Greenville Groove written in the NBDL font, which is very PlayStation 3 or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movie looking, just like a very like, it's 2001, everybody. Like, I think their logo was just the NBDL logo with Groove written. I don't think they had like a specific special other logo, but they had bright lime green jerseys and blue alternate ones, and they looked cool as they grooved their way to the first ever NBDL title.
Sounds groovy to me.
Hey. Thanks for listening to this episode of Four Sources, hosted by Adam Amawala and Mike Schubert. Our editors, Kensei Suramaki. The music is by Tina Kamaman. The art's by Allison Wakeman. And the social media is by both of the Horse Boys.
Thank you to our producer-level patrons, Polly Burge, Salvatore Testa, Siobhan Ellsbury, Don't Go Chasing Taco Falls, Bang, Bang, Roast Beef Debris, Denver Steam Nuggets, Anna Reed, Steph Curry for Handles of the Year.
Oh, bang, 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 bang. I'm dribbling with my bangs.
Chase Underulo, Naked Rachel, Sidney Crosby is a vampire, Chelsea's cousin, Ginger Spurs Boy, Balls to the Walls, Mats Furli, and Utah Jash. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Horse Hoops and on Twitter at Horse_Hoops because
Horse Hoops decided that the Colorado 14ers should be called the 14ers, and we were like, nah, too boring and specific.
Yeah, why would you do that? You banned, just like AJ from the Teal Memorial Locker Room.
Yes,
you banned. You can go to our website, horsehoops.com, for links to the many fun things we talked about today, including perhaps some links to wiki pages about defunct G League teams and much more.
And if you want to support the Horse Boys, you can do so at patreon.com/horsehoops, where you get access to episodes without inserted ads. You get bonus content in video form, audio form, text form. See what we maybe would have titled the episode if we chose differently. Lots of fun stuff there. And you can also go to horsehoops.com/merch to get physical merch like Sup Nerds It's Basketball shirts, or digital merch like Sup Nerds It's Basketball wallpapers and ringtones. But we're going to conclude this episode by saying something on the count of three, as we always do. Are we feeling something? We could homage to one of these G League teams. We could say something about the hype of the WNBA season churning on. We could wish all the NBA players a fun time in Cancun in their off season.
That we could, or in their temples, whatever it is that they're doing.
True. Not everyone has the same off season. It's varying from player to player.
Why don't we just combine two of your teams and say Groovy Gators on three?
Great. Groovy Gators on three. 1, 2, 3.
Groovy Gators! That sounds so much like a Legends of the Hidden Temple team.
The Groovy Gators!
But beware of the Temple Guards.
The Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
But Karl Malone is hiding in... Okay, we're going to stop there. We're going to stop there.
That's a good show. It's a good show.